Anthony here from the Best in the West. We got another custom job for you. First and foremost, I want to shout out to my media assistant, Sydney Ray. She's been sick for a week. She's a trooper. She's not only beautiful, but she's talented. And check her out at Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram and support her. Without her, we wouldn't be having these videos to put up. So here it is. Here we got some floating steps here. This guy owned a recycling center, like a transfer station called Harbor Recycle, and he has connections to every concrete guy around, and he called me in to do the stairs. They're doing the driveway in the backyard. He's got like 4-foot diamonds going with grass in between, but he had me come and do the floating steps, and these things are absolutely lights out. We wanted to get as many as we can. Always people want as many steps as they can. So from his porch to the sidewalk here, we ended up getting 5 in. There's the layout there. Javier painted on the ground. That's what it's going to look like. So we show the customer, see what they think before we even form it up. So before we even form it up, we paint it on the ground. And we don't use lasers, nothing. We just use string lines and levels for all elevations, for everything here. And what I'm doing is, when you run a business, you want it very black and white and very simple. I can look at somebody's business and see if it's successful. If they have all these trucks and all these bobcats and all this stuff, I know they're just convoluting their business, because I can do this stuff with the most minor of stuff. I do the highest end stuff on YouTube, and this video is another depiction of what I do and what West Coast is about. And I have the minimal stuff. I don't have all these. I don't think you need all this stuff. It's just black and white. Make it simple. Simplicity is beautiful too, as far as the work goes too. Like this job, I didn't try and 3-color stamp, 2 colors, stamping it, sealing it, all this, overdoing it. It's so simple and it's so beautiful, and it blows the doors off anything you're going to see on YouTube or any other job when you see this job done with the lights around it and everything else. And people ask me how much you make on YouTube, how much you do, and it's a really arbitrary question, because this particular video here, if I get 10 jobs out of it, that's $300,000. So I directly will make $300,000 off this video, plus what I make off YouTube, whatever that is, maybe. So it's a very hard question to answer. I position myself for longevity. I'm trying to recession bulletproof a concrete business, which I don't think anyone's ever done, because I'll have no overhead. Everything I have is paid for. I can get back started again. I have all this stuff all over YouTube and videos all over. So you never know. A year or two from now, some guy might call me up and need 20 floating stairs up the side of a hill for $100,000 from this video. You just never know, But you want to market yourself on YouTube for longevity. You don't want to have like a sitcom or stupid stuff. Mine's straight business, and this will last a time here. In this porch, we didn't know it was coming off, the cap of it. I thought the front step was going to come off, and we're going to cantilever up under that, but it didn't lay out. So we had to demo the front porch out, and then we had to make a little pour-in-place, or some other places call them cast-in-place walls, to get the cap on top. That's Kevin and Javier. That's Javier's son-in-law, which he's great to have out. And here's the planter. We always put foam on it, so when we pull it and we strip it, we can pull it straight up and out. It works really, really good if you put foam on it and oil the foam. Just be careful on the lip, because I put it on one of the guys put oil on the foam on the 4x4 on the lip, and when the concrete shrunk and expand, there's my boy D. When the concrete shrinks and expand, it wrung it out like a sponge and dripped it down on the step below. So that was one thing I can tell you not to do, that I've learned from a mistake from doing it. But other than that, you're good to go. The step below worked fine. We just had to chip it down a little bit in some areas for the height. See, there's to the right where we had to extend the porch and put a little wall on top of it. This job just came out. I mean, you're putting stuff up like this, you're putting yourself in a different league where who do you bid against? You know what I mean? Who's your competition? That's why these other people on YouTube and around me, they're not even my competition. And people think, oh, you're a hater, you're this, that. They're not even in the same league. I mean, they're not going to come and bid this stuff. Those are the LED lights I used on this. They're so crazy. You can get them to change colors, purple, yellow, orange, whatever you want. You can have them flash like a strobe light. They're $2,500. just for the lights. There's a setup. When you guys see this, you'll see this is, you do this kind of level work, you're in a different position. That's why when they mention other people on wherever work-wise, and I look at it, it does nothing for me, This is the kind of stuff I want to do. This is what I want to market myself. This is the position I want to be in, so I don't have to, I have to really bid against 99.9% of the people when you're doing this kind of stuff. Because the guy who owns this house knows every concrete guy around because he owns a dump. And he didn't want to be their guinea pig, he said, so he brought me in just to pour the steps. It's top cast, sandblasted. We washed it. It's a sandblast finish or top cast. And it came out this thing has just come out perfect. You guys will see the end shot. You got to stick around for the end. Light shot is just, you're building a real business by putting stuff like this up and making a real name for yourself. Anyone can do these simple patios and elementary stuff that people post, but I'm known out of the gate right when they know this guy will deliver. He's going to be expensive. He's not cheap, but he's worth it. That's what you want. And you want to keep your business simple, all your equipment paid for, no overhead. And if the recession goes and you ride the wave and the economy goes down, you just ride it. I'll go sit. Don't twist my arm to go sit at the beach for a year. I have the finances to do it. I live about as cheap as you can live. I don't have any payments, so everything I have is paid for. There's a slump we're using. That's about perfect for what we're doing. That's Victor Delgado from Delgado Landscape right there. He did the lights and helped out with all kinds of stuff. He was really talented at stuff he did. So we're going to pour the porch and 2 other steps today. There's that little pour-in-place wall we had to do to achieve the hangover on that side, the floater on that side, so it's all the way around the perimeter. And the lights on this job go all the way around too, not just the front, because we had more access on each side. So we put them all the way. And with a pump like this, you can look like a pro. That's what puts me leagues above everybody else on here. I could place it by myself. Nobody bothered me. No splashing. No labors all over. Just all skilled journeymen. That's why this stuff looks so good. And it looks synchronized, so organized, and it comes out so perfect. It's because I only have skilled people with me. I don't have people that are half brain dead pulling a rake with moving concrete from one end to the other, and they're teaching them how to take an inch off the top. You watch that stuff, and out here, people they can't even relate to it. Like, even if you ask them, what is a come along or a buggy, they have no idea what you're talking about. But there's a different standard here, like I've said all through all my videos. And I will last the length of time with these videos and the way I'm marketing myself. People will see how good I am at marketing when the slowdown happens and people start dropping off of here. And I'm just hitting waves, chilling at the beach, waiting for my phone to ring. Because I could ride it out under almost any circumstance because I've gone through it before, See, this is like 3.5 yards, and I have 3 top flight finishers on it. That's how much detail's in it. And that's how much I look out for the customer and how I assure that they know I'm going to deliver, and they know that I'm going to give them the best product because they've watched my videos. They see how many guys. They see how everybody's skilled. There's nobody stressing out saying, pull this board, do this, do that. Everybody's in sequence. Javier did not like this sand on this first load. It looked a little gritty to me. I'm pretty sure it was asphalt sand. But it washed and it worked out okay. And then the second pour we did the mud was beautiful. Well, we're out in Gardena. It's right next to like Watts. We're at like 159th and Figueroa, I think. That's where this job was. So I'm just washing the pump out. This is so easy. It's a one-man deal. When you can have one guy worry about placing the concrete, put it wherever you need, can pull the hose by themselves and do it, and you don't have 3 or 4 guys raking it and a guy in a buggy, you'll never do work like this ever. We're so far ahead of it. We don't let the concrete dictate to us. A true master is somebody who can adjust to anything, the weather, a hot load, gritty sand, and change courses and work it to the best of your ability, where it's still an A+ job. You got to know how to roll with it. Weather change, soil, whatever. Nothing bothers us out there. We're going to figure it out because there's so many smart people and pros on my crew, counting me, of what we do. So you're going to get the best product. And when every customer tells me, I already know you're going to deliver, and they'll give me like 50%, 80% of the money up front, and I'm like, no, I'll just take this much. No, I trust you, but it's just the point. I like to keep it rein on the money and where it's at. You know what I mean? So I just take certain draws at a time. I don't take too much at a time because I'll start spending it on my own stuff, and it gets convoluted and confusing. So we got the Milton boys and Javier finishing these. And these come out, I mean, I put this in top 5 of my jobs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to specialize in just floating steps, where I do 10 to 15 sets a year. 15 sets a year, I'll probably make about $500,000 a year. With 10 sets, you can make about $300,000, and you work about 50 days out of the month. Out of the year. That's Gage. He came out and helped us. He's from Kansas City. I met him in Huntington. He'll be out on the jobs. He did concrete where he's from. Not this level or style. You got to have all the right tools, all the right people, itinerary for everybody, what they're going to do, what they're going to hit. You know, it's all about your crew, your overhead. You got to make it simple. You know, when I see a guy with like a flatbed, 2 dump trucks, all the stuff you don't need, I mean, I just have the minimum. Look at the level of work I lay out. Look at everyone else with all their equipment and their crews and all this overhead. Look at the work they put out. Look at the difference. I mean, if you know, you know. Here's the top cast. This is what we use out here to wash it to get a sand finish. It's called top cast, and they have different levels of etching of how far it retards the top. This is the number 3. It'll retard the top about 1/16 of an inch. And you can wash it 2 hours later is what I like to do. But this wasn't part of my deal when I gave him the price for this job. So he had his friend come and wash it the next day, which is fine too. So I didn't wash this. I just sprayed it. But it comes out super nice. This job just, wow. You guys are going to love this. This is the highest end work you're going to see. And you can get all these commercial jobs. You can have 40, 50 guys. You can have 5 trucks. And you make more doing what I'm doing when you could keep a radar under a microscope of everything you do and where your money goes. You don't need an accountant. You don't need a lawyer. You know, you don't need a CPA running yourself. I can run it all. I have a CPA who does everything for me, but I hand it to them in a manner where it's so organized. They're just like, this is simple. And I let them dot the I's and cross the T's, and that's what they do for a living. But I keep it really, when I hand them all my stuff, it's really organized. Here we are stripping it the next day. You can see how perfect. He's doing the driveway with, I think, 4-foot diamonds, and then the fake grass in between. And then to the right of this, these stairs, these floating steps I'm doing, he put like a 9,000-pound water feature right there where Javier, just in front of the guy in the red, that's Javier's brother. Just to the right of him, he put a water feature. They poured a slab right there. And so I'm going to come back when this is all done. He smooth troweled stuccoed the house, had it all sandblasted, new garage door. You know, young guy too. The garage door is super nice. That's their driveway they're going to do. And see where the in-between, they're going to put the fake grass in between. Then it transitions to the steps with fake grass in between them. And then the water feature right here behind Javier. So it's going to look really good. So if anybody wants floating steps, they obviously know I'm the guy. And I'm just going to keep putting more and more and more and more sets of them. And that to the point where that's all I do. Everyone can do them or says they can, except I never see them do it. That's the thing here. These blowholes you see on here couldn't even come close to doing this. It's a totally different way. It's expensive too. There's a lot of money in it. That's the beauty of it. So you could separate yourself from any other concrete guys. I mean, I might be a contractor, concrete, and so is the next guy, but you'll look at the levels of the jobs I do. And when I come out to these kind of jobs, I'm the only one who does it. No one else bids it. So there's a lot of reasons why I want to switch to just doing these custom steps and stuff, entryways like that. It's in front of the house. It's easy accessible. It's not hard for us at all. I need no more than 3 or 4 guys at a time. I don't need a bunch of guys, so that's another plus. I don't need a bunch of equipment and service truck with all these tools, and it's basically just a walk in the park, to be honest with you. And the look and the satisfaction of it's just crazy. Of the people's too who owns the houses. I should film the reactions, but I'm just going to keep it the way I'm doing it. I'm going to be mic'd up this summer. And do not forget to support Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram. She brings these videos together for us and does a really good job. She's been under the weather for last week. We would have had this up last Friday. But that's how it goes. And it's going up now. Here's my pump. That's an Olin 545. When you see a guy with a pump and doing the level of these jobs like Stairway to Heaven, the writing's on the wall. You don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out you're a dumbass with a buggy. You know, it's not that hard to figure out. It's like, do whatever you want to do, but don't try and preach to me that your work's good and I'm sitting there looking at it. This is, the end shot on this is one of my favorites of any job I've done. That's the owner right there. The guy we were talking to. Really sharp dude, really good business guy. He's got like a transfer station, Harbor Recycle, right around the corner from his house. He takes like concrete, trash, whatever. When I got LA jobs, I'm hooked up with the bins. His parents have bins, and it was a good hookup. We're just pulling the rebar as we go here. That's a little walkway, too. We threw in the deal because it didn't tie in. I wanted us to tie it into the driveway, not the driveway guys tying it into ours. So we poured the little sidewalk from where I'm standing to the floating steps. I'm just pumping it down real slow. I turned it down. It's probably, I don't know, what is that, a 5.5 slump, something like that. It's a pretty hot day, pretty nice day out. Came out really nice. This is a 3,000 psi straight cement, no fly ash. So I'm all hooked up in San Diego, Orange County, Riverside, and LA. I have connections in every county for what I need for pumping, demo, finishers, anything. I'm connected out of them all. You see the top part, that's already washed, the one right there to me. You can see how nice that looks. And we're going to be spraying this too when we're done. And the planters really make it elegant, really make it sleek. I love the planters in the step. You know, but if you're going to market yourself for longevity, for work, not a soap opera, not some stupid thing that's in time just going to fade away. Good work never fades away. Smart business people never fade away. People always listen to them and watch them and, you know, learn a lot of stuff from them. I might be a concrete guy, but I mean, business-wise, you can learn all kinds of stuff the way I do it. You can see how I have the minimum stuff. Just me and 2 or 3 guys, you can make 25 grand in what, 4 days? I mean, 5 days max. Figure that one out. Well, you got to think it out and you got to learn as you go. You know, if you can't afford to buy it, then you're not ready to buy it. If you're going to finance it, I don't see the point in it because things can flip. You know, the economy can lock up, another COVID or whatever could come back along, and then you're sitting there with the payment and you got to get rid of it. So just buy one thing at a time, make money with it. Like if I bought this pump, you know, I'd make $20,000 a month with it and I'd save money back up. And if I needed a Bobcat in 2 months, I'd have 40 grand to buy a Bobcat, and then I'd save again a couple more months running the pump and buy a trailer, just like that. Whatever piece you buy should finance the rest of your business, you know. So I'm just washing the pump out here. You just run about 3, you fill the hopper up about 3 times and pump it up through, back up into the truck. I have a hook and it's hooked to it. And I'm pumping it back into the ready mix truck because they just go to the yard anyway and discharge their barrel, and they put a water hook in there and it just blasts it out as they're discharging it. What they're supposed to be doing, some of these guys just load on top of it. Like if you got a 1 o'clock job and they had 3 yards extra at 7, you're probably getting half of that 3 yards on your load. That's why you got to pour a first round. If you pour at 7 o'clock, they're not loading on top of anything. Now here's the whole killer shot here. You guys are going to absolutely love the light shots on these steps. And we're going to spray it and they're going to wash it the next day, and then we'll just come the next day and strip the front forms. But anything that's going to be visible, like the sides, any of that, we pull and strip it that day and face it. And we have 3 guys on it the whole time. You're not really getting a break on these. Once you start getting on it, you just stay on it. It's like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour gangbuster. Over and over and over and over. Just keep edging, keep facing it. And the beauty with the top cast, this isn't enough area to have any flaw in the finish, but when you top cast it, it'll take any flaws out of the finish, any trowel marks or chatter, anything you see in there, the top cast will take it off because it etches the top of 16th. And then when you wash it, it washes a 16th of the cream off, exposes the sand. If you use a higher top cast, the number 15, it'll expose a little bit of the rock and sand, and then obviously another higher one will expose all aggregate, or there's about 12 different levels of it. I have my buddy in my other truck pull the pump up. My truck's across the street. That was one of the pump trucks. I will definitely come back when the driveway and all the landscaping and the water features. See the circle right there? Me and Javier laid it out for him. And we went right where Milton is finishing, right where his knee is. We went off that level, so that's level with that step, their water feature. You can see the skill level this takes. This isn't running a mag and brooming it wet, or pouring with 10-inch slump water reducer, self-leveling. This is a totally different. This is your true concrete skill. What you see on YouTube and other things, anybody could do that stuff. That stuff is simple. And the only difference is when some of these guys on here think that they're doing something. The only thing they're doing different is they got a camera and put it on there, because they wouldn't even be average here. They wouldn't even be contractors out here, and they're probably not even that good where they're from. If that's a standard, it's pretty bad. And that's just being honest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, act cavalier and not say. We're talking about work and business. We're not talking about somebody's family or personal, you know what I mean? So I don't get offended by it. But when people try to write in here about me and different stuff, they look stupid because I'm that smart. I've already laid it all out, how to run this stuff. I mean, this is nothing. But it's high dollar stuff. It's about as high dollar per square foot as you're going to get. You really can't go by the square foot because there's not enough to use that formula. But you can come up with a number and then break it down into that and see what it actually was per square foot. But it's not like you can go charge that on a, 45 on a driveway, 45.50 a square foot, or whatever you got off of this. But this is completely different. This costs a lot to do in labor. Your labor costs are really high because it's 5 days, because you got to go every other step. You got to come back and strip and then set up. So that's a day with a crew. Then you got to come back the next day and pour. Then you need to come back and strip again, That's the top cast there. I think wherever you guys are, whatever state, if you're going to do this, a sand finish, it's a lot more easy to time than using sugar or Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola or any of that. This is way easier to time, and it'll just wash the top off. I think you can get this stuff in 3 days. If they don't have it where you live, you just order it and have them ship it to you. It's probably about $220, $200, something like that. And you don't want to get it on the existing. And I don't want to plastic it off and slip on the shit or something. There's the finish, what it looks like. See, the lights are on there during the day. You can see them. They're really strong. I mean, look how perfect that looks. That looks like it was etched from a lay and put down on there. It looked, in person, it looks perfect. And when the whole job's done, I'll come back and I'll film the whole job. That's during the day how strong those lights are. We didn't put it on the timer yet, or switch them, or change the colors. That was the color that was on there. So that's what in the night shot I'm going to show. How'd you like to have that entryway? Ain't no one laying it down like that. That's a fact. Look at that. That is just money. Talk the talk. Walk the walk, bro. That killer or what? We got a darker night shot coming up. It's hard to get a good look at the sand finish when I zoom up on it. It's kind of, it's hard to get a good look at it. That's a super nice set. I should get 10 jobs from this video. This is one of my favorite sets. There's the night shot there. Bam. You're talking West Coast. You're talking the best of the best. That's what I'm about. Then there's the rest, right? That's just, those lights are awesome. Those lights were $2,500 just for the lights. What do you guys think of that? Is that a 10 or what? So if you need floating steps and you're in Southern California, give Anthony a call at West Coast Custom Concrete and you will get the best of the best. And don't forget Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram. And I appreciate everybody watching. And we got, from putting videos up like this, we're going to get so much more work. It's all going to be custom, high end. Thank you very much and have a nice day.